We are ready. I have my guest, TheElusiveSquirrel, with me. My dude, welcome to the Gamer Life podcast. How you doing? Oh, let me get your video there. What's going on? Can you try turning off and on your camera for us? There we go.
Had to hit the refresh.
No worries, that happens all the time with Discord. Now officially, welcome to the Gamer Life podcast. How are you?
Going, man?
We said it at the same time. You go first. How are you?
Not too bad. We just woke up with the time difference, you know? This is an early Saturday morning, but we made it work. It actually wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be like in the middle of the night or something, so.
Yeah, this is actually why I started this time, because it's like 9 a.m. for, EDT time. So a lot of people in the States can start watching something. They even enjoy, like over coffee and stuff, watching some. So it kind of works out. But thanks for doing this, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, dude. Like I said, it's an honor. I binged. I remember just thinking it was like a regular gaming podcast because I heard about you through ACG, right?
Okay.
So, and then I popped on you and Kev's episode one time when I was playing Slay the Spire, and I was like, ooh, there's a whole other layer to
Hell yeah,
this
man.
one, man.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
Like the side combos.
Yeah, because with Kevin, we always go a bit deep. We talk about like mental health and stuff. So it's interesting. That was the first one you caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice room, bro. Yes. So that we'll talk about, some of the things that called my attention about your stream, but you have a very cool background. You obviously put a lot of thought into it, and
a lot of experimenting.
I hope you take the implicit compliment that, me inviting you here means that, I looked at your stuff and I like and respect your hustle, what you're doing there.
I appreciate that, man. I do.
So, but give people like a primer. I always like to put fellow streamers on the spot. Give me your elevator pitch bio. Who's elusive squirrel in in a short package?
Yeah, so the streaming aspect's kind of been off and on lately in terms of like schedule and stuff, but mainly I've been experimenting with YouTube these days. Not necessarily streaming on YouTube. I'm still streaming just on Twitch. But yeah, I was just trying to find ways to grow because I kind of like stalled out in growth, especially as a small streamer. You hit those like, follow for follow trains or like Discords where it's like pretty much just people trying to like, take advantage of the people in that Discord, like just getting follows and you're not really growing. So I kind of ventured out over on YouTube, YouTube Shorts. I don't know if you've done YouTube Shorts at all, Johnny.
Not yet. I haven't gotten into that whole ball game. Yeah.
Oh, dude, and that's the same thing. The same thing with TikTok too. People are like super hesitant. I was too. I was like, man, I really don't want to be on that platform. But that place is a gold mine for growing. The views can explode. It's not as hard as YouTube. The content's just thrown right in your face rather than you have to get somebody to click on it.
Oh, so it's just autoplay, right? It's just going.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you put out, say, TikTok, if you put out like gamer TikToks and the app knows this guy likes games, you could just show up on his page one day. And that's honestly, that's how a lot of people think it should be. It's less of like trying to find smaller streamers through like, Twitch's trash discoverability.
Yeah.
I think for like new streamers and new content creators, I couldn't stress that enough, man, is trying to branch out and hit these other platforms. But yeah, so now I'm kind of making console gaming content over there, basically for like the Switch, PS5, Xbox, over on YouTube, and then just playing some random games over on Twitch. I think I'm going to start diving a little bit more into Xbox content because I think I've hit that point of I've got a good foundation level, but I need to start like niching out a little bit,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, I'm just making all kinds of content, like top 10 lists, different news reactions if it's big.
Yeah.
Just discussion kind of things about gaming at the moment. It's kind of a growing idea. I'm kind of, the elevator pitch is an ever growing thing for me right now.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult thing to be put in a situation where you have to condense who you are in 30 seconds, right? As a content creator, like what makes you different than everybody else. By the way, hello to everybody joining us. We're doing an interview, so feel free to post questions if you have them. I see there Miss Vechnov joining us as well. Welcome in. But I wanted to hear from you, like, first of all, what got you into this game? What attracted you from the streaming world? Is that where you started streaming, or was YouTube your first
So
content?
streaming is where I started actually, and I always kick myself in the butt because I kind of started streaming when like nobody was really doing it yet. It was kind of like I just
So
figured out
let's take a step back. How long ago was that?
that would have been about 2016.
Whoa. Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
actually
that
when
was like
Twitch had
pre-Goldmine days.
the boom. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I actually started on YouTube, believe it or not. I started streaming on YouTube in 2016. I wasn't on Twitch yet. I made a Twitch account, but like I never like set it up and actually used Twitch. But I like started streaming on YouTube, and nobody really knew at the time that it was gonna boom that much. And it was funny because I was actually growing. I got to like 250 subs on YouTube from just streaming. Like I didn't make any other content. Um, I was
Just
getting
streaming games or
yeah, just streaming games. Yeah, just streaming random games. I actually played a lot of the Breath of the Wild when that launched. That was like a
yes.
big takeoff thing for me. Especially because a lot of people weren't doing it at the time. But it's crazy like comparing like average viewers and growth of that year to like when and then I took a hiatus. So then coming back from like the mid 2017 to 2020, I didn't stream. So then when I came back in 2020, comparing the growth numbers, I actually did it too. I like went back and looked at my analytics, and it was crazy, man. I'm like, dude, I should have kept going back then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like, I should have invested in Bitcoin. We can't
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
it does hurt when you look back like if you missed an
Hindsight's
opportunity.
2020.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Okay.
so I kind of
Yeah.
fell out of it there, and then I got back into it during the pandemic. You know, everybody had all this free time, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it another go. So
So was it like you just wanted to find people online and almost like a couch co-op thing, but through the internet, or what was the
yeah,
push to get
generally.
into it? Like,
Yeah, generally. And like the biggest thing was like during like the YouTube days of like 2017, 16 when I was streaming, it was just meeting people, man. That was like the funnest part. Like I generally played single player games, and I still do generally play some single player games on stream and whatnot, but just you meet so many people from it, you know, and you kind of get a sense of community. A couple of my best friends now are from Australia that I met from streaming. So even with the time difference there, we find time to game and hang out
yeah,
and stuff. So it's honestly it's just the sense of community that kind of drew me to it. And
yes,
then once I started making videos, that's when I was like, okay, I actually really enjoy like the back end of this too, like editing and trying to figure out
yeah.
how everything goes. And
Learning
uh,
all the little mini skills that go into it, right?
yeah, oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's like I was saying about the elevator pitch. It's an ever growing thing. Like I feel like I'm learning something new every day when it comes to either like the platforms themselves or editing or different
Yeah.
equipment strategies and stuff like that. So it's super interesting, and I'm a university student too, so I've kind of picked up some stuff from there. Because I'm a PR major, so I'm kind of studying social media and whatnot.
Huh.
So it's kind of gone
It
hand in
kind
hand
of
with that too.
ties into it a little bit. Some of it
Yeah, oh
is
yeah.
usable.
Yep, like I learned Photoshop there and
Yeah.
a couple other tricks that have it's just all kind of meshed together, you know. So
Right.
it's been hard to be consistent during university and stuff, but like now I'm in my last semester, so it's like I'm kind of flushing out all these ideas and trying to figure out who I want to be as a content creator. So
So now I want to ask you a little bit about that, but before then, we had a good question in chat from Food Talk Gaming, saying, "Try my hardest to get streaming up and growing. What would be the two, I guess, tips? No, sorry. What would the two of you recommend as the best tip for a small streamer like myself? What do you got? What's your top tip
I would say,
for a small streamer?"
like I was saying earlier, repost, not necessarily repost, but you could repost on other platforms, things like TikTok or
Yes.
even YouTube Shorts. Whether it be just like taking a Twitch highlight and putting it up on there, that's as simple as that. That could do the trick. Or you can make content specifically geared for those platforms. Either way, I think that's just going to get you way more exposure than just relying on Twitch.
Right. And I think the other one I would add to that is the consistency aspect. Is set out your whatever it is, like a reasonable schedule, and start small, even if it's just 2 days a week. Stick to that, because people will learn that you're online at those times. It would surprise you, even being very small. I have a lot of friends that are in the like 3 average viewer mark, and they have those like 2 people who know that at that time they're going to be playing Skyrim or whatever the fuck it is, and they come for that, right? And I think that's a great way to also build your self not really self-esteem, but your credibility towards yourself as a streamer. Like, you know, you're the kind of guy that shows up, right? You're there every Thursday to play Skyrim or whatever day it is, and that's kind of a small thing that builds your image, internal image as well, of like who you want to be in a way. So that's that whole cliche of, you know, you start believing and then other people kind of get it too. So I would go with
And
that.
I'll add on that as well with the consistency. When I did stream consistently on Twitch, I definitely saw a lot more growth than like now where I'm experimenting more on other platforms and stuff like that and kind of just like hobby streaming.
Right.
Johnny's 100% right. Even if you're just averaging 3 viewers, it's way easier to pick up steam when people know when to expect you, you know, rather than just randomly like, oh, like they might be gone during that time. You know what I mean? Like the 3 people that are hardcore fans might not know you're going live and they're doing other stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if you had a schedule, they would be there and it would help you grow. But yeah, I would say consistency also is a huge, huge thing.
But I want to go back to what you were saying, because so you're saying you're studying now, you're finishing your major.
Yep.
How does that work for you? So is it like one more year and then you go into some job? What's like the roadmap, I guess?
So right now I'm actually doing like an internship. It's a marketing internship. It's from home, so it's nothing like crazy for me, like new experience wise. It's kind of stuff I've done.
Okay.
But I basically just make social media graphics for a phone company. And then I have in the fall, I'll go from September to December. I have a couple classes left and then I'll be done. So mid-December, I'll be out of there and then I'll be trying to find a job.
What would be the ideal like first job for you that you're looking for in that space?
In this space, it's actually, you think it'd be really easy right now because everybody's like kind of at home or, you know, still at the tail end of being at home and it's more of a social media world, but it's actually really hard to land a good job. A lot of the jobs like here are like state jobs, and I can't lie, I definitely don't want to do that. It's like writing memos and doing like brochures for like different state information and stuff.
Yeah.
But my dream situation would be whether even be like a startup barely making any money. I would love to either do like video. I would go to my friends that did video game accessories. But like if you tack on to one of these smaller companies that are doing gaming news or like I said, an accessory brand or any of those and kind of either help with their social media or even just their like typical PR stuff to get some marketing strategies and things like that. That would be the ideal thing. I would love to end up in a situation like that where I'm actually doing PR or marketing for something I really love, you know?
And would you imagine doing it basically from your home, or is it something where you get more involved in and like you go places and you like I'm trying to think now in 2021, is there still a place for, you know, being there physically for anything, or is it just all done from home?
Yeah, that's the like what I'm doing right now. I actually don't live far from my office. I'm working from home at this internship, but I only live like half an hour from the actual office.
So you could just go in as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like sometimes I'll go in for like a big project, like if I need like a shot of like the actual office or like the university or anything like that, I'll like go drive and do that. But then when I'm like doing my office work, I'm right back at home.
Yeah.
And they've had, since we're at the tail end of the university, we've talked to a lot of other like graduates that have just gotten into the workforce and stuff. And pretty much everybody's at home, man. Like it's even with the U.S. thinking it's over, like everybody's still at home for the most part in this space at least. And honestly, I kind of like it that way. I like working from home.
Oh, me too. I'm sold on it. Yeah, exactly. But so for context, whereabouts in the U.S. are you? Without, you know,
I'm in Michigan.
Doxing yourself.
I'm in Michigan.
Okay, yeah, Michigan.
The mitten.
Yeah. And do you fuck around with photography? Because I see you have a DSLR camera.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely do that.
That also ties into your job, right? The whole, like, you said,
exactly.
taking shots of things.
And like a lot of people, like in that field, in that job field, you could like hire out a photographer to do it and stuff like that. But
it's a plus if you can.
Yeah, I'm trying to make myself more marketable. So it's like, hey, I can do this. You don't have to hire somebody else to do it, kind of a thing.
So can I ask you, what camera do you have there?
I have the Sony A6000 right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to get a better lens. I'm still rocking stock lens, so I kind of want to.
Dude, I'll tell you, they can make a huge difference because I bought. So I have a Lumix G7. It's the one that I'm running right now, which is kind of a similar, so that, you know, a bit lower than yours, but in the sort of ballpark. But the change from going from stock lens to like a good lens, prime lens, which for people who don't know, a prime lens can't zoom, so I can't zoom in, but the lens quality is a lot better for the price comparatively. So, you know, when you get something that's like higher quality, that gets more light in and stuff, it's one of those like, whoa, you know, like it's
a night and day difference.
Yeah, it's really interesting how different it can look, and it's not even just better, it's different. I've found, because I've picked up a couple other lenses as well in my time with, you know, being a bit of a hobbyist now in this, you know, trying a few different things. And this is another prime lens that's a bit of like a closer crop. So this, I think it's a 25. So this is something that you would use if you wanted like a close shot of your face. You were doing like an interview or something a bit more, you know, intimate. And this has like almost what would you say, like a grainy quality to it in the way the image is shown. It's, if you think back to, if anybody watches the Walking Dead show, where it has like grainy quality to it, this kind of has that. So it's very interesting where you try a different lens, and it's not just the shot is different because of how much light is going in and all that, but like the way it looks, there's some kind of identity with different lenses. So very cool rabbit hole to get into, the whole stuff with lenses. Yeah, I'm
kind of just getting into that too. Like one of my buddies has the step down from the 6,000. I think it's like the 5,400 or 5,600, but he is the same thing. He got a newer lens, and he put that bad boy on, and he's like, "Oh, you got the newer one than me." I'm like, "Dude, your shot looks a million times better because that lens is incredible, you know?"
Yeah, it's very
like
cool.
You were saying, it's crazy that a lens can actually like make like a personality of a brand, if I'm explaining that right.
Yes.
Like that can set the whole mood, you know what I mean? A good shot can be everything. So.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk a little bit about like the room you're in, because it looks very cool. You've clearly put a lot of thought into it. So first of all, you got some stylish foam in the back for some audio foam. It's got like color and stuff. I dig it. Was that mostly for like aesthetics, or were you also thinking about like sound treatment and stuff like that?
So I need to actually sound treat this room a little bit better. So I just moved, and it's in like a downtown apartment, like with businesses and whatnot. Yeah. And when I tell you the ceilings are like, if I look up, the ceilings are massively tall. I mean, like extremely tall.
So do you get like a bit of reverb from the room being
100%? Yeah. And even like, so I have like, they're like in diamond shapes. It's kind of hard to tell because like the shot or whatever, but they're in like diamond shapes, and I have them going like all the way around the room, and that's helped quite a bit. But I need more, man. Like I need a whole other layer, because it's like 15 foot. I think it's 15 or 16 foot ceiling.
That's very cool. So. You know what I would love, dude? If you, I don't know if you have like a cheap webcam lying around or something.
Oh, I definitely do.
Because if we could get like a wide shot of the room, so we see you in the room where we can actually see, you know, your sound panels and stuff in the back. Yeah. Where like sometimes maybe you switch to that and you get like the room view. That would be awesome.
I actually picked up this guy a couple days ago. It's
GoPro?
It's a GoPro.
Yeah.
I picked that guy up, and I'm gonna toy around with a couple different angles.
Dude,
and stuff,
that would be very cool.
Yeah, I'm experimenting a lot with a bunch of different stuff, but yeah, I just moved to this apartment a couple months ago too, and I used to have these like colored foam pieces and like just a wall.
Yeah,
because it was a smaller normal room, you know. They couldn't really like fit around the whole place, and I didn't need them like around the whole place. I was kind of like in a corner. So then when I moved here, I was like, man, I really gotta switch this up. And this room also has no like windows either, so it's like super weird. It's like I'm in a basement.
Well, I will say the sound is pretty good. You know, you don't have like a lot of reverb or anything in it, so I would say you've done a good job of like sanitizing that.
In the first stream back, it was hilarious too, because I didn't have it up yet. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like stream. I don't really care that stuff's not put together. And everybody's like, man, you sound way off. And I was like, shoot, I knew it.
No, it sounds pretty good. By the way, Hustle in chat, shout out to my man Hustle, who was a previous guest here in the podcast. Love you, man. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Okay, and then you got some pop figurines there in the back. I see some DBZ in the bottom. Is that Frieza, Goku? You got Vegeta?
I have an absolute. So I work at a game store as well. I have two jobs, and my other one's at a gaming retail store. And I buy pop figures like it's like no tomorrow, man. I'm always like, oh, this is it. I'm done buying them, and then
Yeah.
like one comes in off the truck, and I'm like, yo, I need that.
I see also a lot of Spideys in the top row
Yep.
there.
I pretty much have like a whole row of Spider-Man stuff.
So I'm
over
also
there.
a big Spider-Man fan. I loved, as a kid, the cartoon, and it's one of my favorite superheroes. I like a lot of the movies as well. I loved Spider-Verse. Have you seen that one as well? The animation one?
Yep, that was incredible.
Yes. Yeah, I loved it.
And the games were incredible.
The games were incredible. I recently played.
I was hyped with those.
Yeah, I played Miles recently. Did you get a chance to play that?
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
that
phenomenal.
was on my top priority list when I got my PS5.
Yeah, I loved how they took like the original, which was already an outstanding game, and then they kind of added more stuff on top with the powers in a way that didn't feel overwhelming, but it just like a cool spin on it.
Yeah, that was like my concern going in. I was like, I think they're gonna have trouble like making new entries, especially with Miles, because I was like, how do you like differentiate him from Peter? You know what I mean? But like, and then once you get in and you see all these cool new powers he has, you're like, oh, this is piece of cake. They did this easy. So I was impressed with it, honestly. Like a lot of people complained it was like too short, but I think that it was just right. Honestly, I think it was a really good story for
I have
Miles.
really a lot of appreciation for short games that have a a tight narrative and a concise package of a game compared to these bigger ones that tend to have all kinds of pacing problems and
like the new Ratchet. That's a nice paced game.
The new Ratchet, it's a great game, man. It's one of those that throughout it feels like it's it's worth $70. The work put there is palpable. Like it's so much production value that it's one of those that I didn't feel too bad about paying full price, even though it still stings, the new full prices.
Yeah, man, I've been paying pretty much full price. I get like a slight discount if I go up to my work, like I was saying at the gaming place, but I pretty much only get like $10 off. So
do you game mostly on console or what's
I game mostly on console. I like actually just during the pandemic, I did it at the right time before like everything started getting shortage and like scalpers. But I kind of buffed up my PC, but I buffed it up in the sense of I knew I wasn't gonna be like gaming much on it. So I put like a 1660 Ti in it. I got like a 3700X AMD.
Well, that's fun. That's exactly what I'm running in my streaming PC rig.
Right, exactly. And I actually had a really good friend help me do it. He builds PCs for like a living. He does it as a little side gig. But he was like, yeah, man, do you want to like fully upgrade and be able to play games on it?
Yes.
And like the thing is with me, I was like, I'll stream. I just need it for streaming at the moment. But like the thing is with PC gaming, and I've always said this on my YouTube channel too, and I think it's just something I got to get over, but it always makes me uneasy, man, because I've never had like the top card or anything. And I'm always so scared of buying like a $60 game and then going to run it and I can't run it. You know what I mean? So it's like
the beauty of it is the refund policy and stuff like Steam.
Yeah, Steam
like
is very
you go in if the game is not running, you just return it, no questions asked.
Right.
So at least
they can give you like 2 hours, don't they? You could even play it.
You could play it for 2 hours. Some games you can beat, and you could return if you want. I don't recommend it, but it's a bit of a scumbag move.
Yeah, but that's what always drew me to consoles is just like being able to put it in and know it'll probably run to the best.
That's fair, man. And I'm always the first one to say like, there's totally a reason to just do consoles because PCs do come with a lot of stuff that you just can't go wrong, and then you're stuck in forums and stuff. As a PC enthusiast, I like that sort of stuff, but a lot of people don't want to deal with it, and that's fine.
And after I built this rig, I think once things go back to normal, I'll definitely give PC gaming another shot. I would love to upgrade to one of the 30 series cards, just paying I'd want to pay retail, which, it's unheard of right now.
The biggest thing is the lack of crossplay. So, if you have friends on PC, then, you're stuck, you're broken up in those two groups and you can't really join up. But at least nowadays with Discord, you can be like on a voice call while you're playing your game on your console. People are doing other stuff, but at least you're chatting. You have some kind of like community going on at the very least.
Right. And Discord's going to PlayStation soon, so I think it's next year, 2022.
Yeah, But even without that, with your setup, you can be on Discord while playing in console, for example.
Yeah, we did. We actually like been on a huge Apex Legends kick, and like 2 of my buddies play on PC, and then a couple of us play on console. And yeah, we're able to play seamlessly through Discord. Honestly, we'd rather have it through Discord because you can like kind of mess around with the voice volume a little bit easier. You know what I mean? It's easier to manage the audio levels.
Yes.
Rather than just like in a typical headset. So Discord's a blessing, man. I love Discord.
It is.
I'm relatively new to it too. Like until I streamed, I like didn't touch Discord, and it was the weirdest thing. My like mod was like, "Dude, you need a Discord," and I was like, "I don't even really know what that is, dude."
It's honestly,
I don't know how I did it.
It's honestly magical because
it is.
People go from, let's say they see your stream or my stream, and they find out, oh, you have a Discord server. Okay, maybe they'll check it out. Maybe they'll see that we're on a voice call. They'll jump in, and all of a sudden you're talking with the person. You're having a conversation, and maybe you become friends. Many of my best friends I've found in this way. It
basically just takes that level of community you got from your streaming and just like takes it to the next step. Which is super dope.
Yeah, it's a really good tool. But you were talking about other tools to grow your stream. So like TikToks, Shorts.
Oh, dude, TikTok especially. I kind of burnt out on it. But TikTok, man. Like
tell me a bit about, because you're younger, right? What age are you?
I'm 24.
24. Okay, I'm 32. So you're more, in the game, right? You have a better shot, I feel, in TikTok. So you also have, you have great hair, so you have a better shot there. But
dude, my hairline though. Let me show you this real quick, Johnny. This is like
don't expose yourself, man. It's fine. You don't have to do this.
On my YouTube comments, like all my day ones are like, "Let me see that hairline."
Oh. And the comments can be brutal because it's almost like they try to find your chink in the armor, right? Don't they? And they're like, let's exploit that. But okay, so for TikTok, I'm curious because I don't know how good the transfer is. So someone sees you on TikTok, right? How likely are they to like actually click through to Twitch?
Right.
Because it feels to me like TikTok is its own microcosm where people are just in TikTok. Are you seeing any conversion from like people seeing you there to coming over?
So personally, I have not seen a huge conversion, but this was my main negative. So when I made TikTok, I kind of made it with the idea of not like, hey, come follow me on Twitch, but like I was kind of doing my own content for that specific platform, But I've had, and it's kind of weird because I've tried to master this. I can't now. Some people are just so good at it. But some people just make these like comedy sketches about their, not necessarily like Twitch highlights, but like they just make comedy sketches about streaming or relatable streamer stuff. And I actually had a buddy of mine. It was weird. His girlfriend made a TikTok, and it was like about him, right? She was like, "Oh, this is so and so. He does this. This is his average day." And he went from 800 followers to 3.9K overnight on Twitch.
Whoa!
From one video.
Wow. Okay.
And it was crazy, and you can see it all over TikTok, man. There's these people that go from like 200, 300 followers on Twitch to like 1K overnight, like literally overnight. But the big thing is with TikTok is if you don't have 1,000 followers, you can't put like your link tree up or whatever in your bio.
Yeah.
But once you hit that 1,000 follower point, man, it's actually really doable because all they'd have to do is click on your name and your link tree would be right there, and it's a really easy conversion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially with TikTok because it's very fast paced, So I mean, being able to convert that to a Twitch follow in a quick manner, I think is essential. So.
By the way, Suvi, hello, good to see you again. Welcome back. I wanna almost like take advantage of you since I have you here. Give me a primer for TikTok, right? What is the first? What's the format? Is it like 30 seconds?
So they've
what's the meta? Give me a little of the meta, right?
So yeah, you kind of want to keep it short, but they actually just changed it so you could do 3-minute uploads.
Okay, so almost like Instagram. The long form and stuff.
Yeah, I would really suggest not doing 3-minute videos. Usually the prime ones are between like 7 seconds and 30 seconds. Okay. That's because it used to be 30 seconds or 60 seconds was the cap. But the thing is, how it works. Have you ever used TikTok?
Dude, I have not. I know
Okay,
like broadly how it works, but
yeah.
treat me as a total like.
So you just open up TikTok, right? Like you just open the app and you're on what's called the For You page. And whether it goes off what you like, ad stuff, typical social media stuff. So like if you're into gaming, like me and you would pick up on that we like gaming and streaming. So you'd probably get gaming and streaming creators. But you open the app and videos just pop up right in your face. You don't click on them and then you just swipe through the videos. So they just play automatically. You just keep swiping through these videos, but that's what's the beauty of it is.
So the swiping, does that indicate whether you liked it or not in some way?
No, so like on the right-hand side of the video, think of it as like an Instagram story. So you open it, right? Boom, it's like right in your face. And on the right-hand side of that, you're going to see like a heart button and then the comment section and a share button. And the share is like either just copy the link or send it in the app.
Yeah.
And that's how you leave feedback. And how much you watch it, obviously it's like YouTube, it's like video retention is big, but interactions are big. But you just swipe through it and you just swipe to the next video, swipe to the next video.
You double tap it, Suvi is saying? So people double tap it to, okay, gotcha.
Yep, yeah, double tap for a like. But it's just videos in your face nonstop. And me and my girlfriend always say it's like an endless loop, man. You can watch videos for hours.
Do you ever do that? You find yourself just like TikToking?
Yeah. And one time my girlfriend deleted it because she's like, I'm wasting way too much time, like just opening this app and just chilling on it.
That worries me a little. But okay, so let's say as a streamer, right? What is the meta? How are people getting traction there? Is it gameplay? Or is it like behind the scenes stuff? More like
I would say
comic stuff?
Gameplay is a good way to start. Like when you're first trying to figure out how the app works, how to create it. I think gameplay is beautiful. You do kind of have to edit it down because it's on the format of your phone, right?
Right.
So you don't want to like zoomed in. If you learn how to edit it specifically for TikTok, I think gameplay is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I've done a bit of that with fleets on Twitter where, you take your camera on one side and the footage and you kind of zoom in at different moments, right? You put some subtitles, that kind of...
You see, you already got this, Johnny. You're already ready.
Well, I have some... Yeah, I've looked into it for fleets and I guess some of it is transferable, but I'm trying to understand like the meta of this thing. So you're saying maybe 10 seconds, is that like a good sweet spot? Would you say?
Yeah, I would say between 10 and 30 seconds.
10 and 30
is great. Yeah, I would say that's the sweet spot. And funny moments, usually it's like hilarious moments that blow people up. So like whether you have something like a glitch that happens that's hilarious, or like you're in a multiplayer game and you and your buddies did something hilarious. But yeah, dude, you can grow. I put up a funny video kind of like mocking console war people, and it got over 100K views, and it was like my first video or my third video on the app.
Whoa.
It was I opened TikTok and I was like, went from like 200 followers to like 1.7K like overnight.
Yeah.
And it was just like, whoa. You know what I mean? So and that's why I got the GoPro too. I'm actually going to experiment. Like the main reason I got the GoPro is I was like, I'm going to make some like super cool kind of like point of view TikToks, you know what I mean? About gaming and stuff like that and streaming. So I haven't even messed around with the GoPro yet. I like just got out of the box, but I'm super excited to make content geared for that about streaming and whatnot.
So will it be like talking head videos or like vlog style? What are you thinking?
So a lot of people really, and I love that when people do this too, they kind of show their setup, So like if you got like your GoPro, you do like the chest mount or whatever on it, and you go through and like you get a cool shot of turning on your PC and turning on your lights and get kind of setting the stage, you know what I mean? That's actually a really popular, I wouldn't say it's like a trend, but you see a lot of people do it and it's pretty successful.
That's interesting.
Just all kinds of stuff, man. But field of view stuff, especially if you have especially for you who has a high quality camera, people love that. That really sets you apart immediately from like, the crappy phone cameras to like, whoa, this guy's got high quality. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I could actually do that because I have now 2 Lumix cameras. So because I have like 2 angles I shoot from, I could just like use the other one for these small things without undoing my stream setup. So that could be, I never thought of like doing these little moments of behind the scenes, like, oh, here's this little cool piece of gear that I'm going to use for tonight's stream, like show it with the RGB, with the lights and a little eye candy for people.
For sure.
That could be interesting.
Honestly, one of the main things too, I actually just thought about this as we were talking about it, but podcasts get quite a bit of growth from TikTok too as well, whether it's just like showing a highlight like me and you talking here, or if like you were on the ACG podcast and showed a highlight of that. Like people eat that up too. Like
No shit.
everybody loves a good podcast. Yeah, I've followed a couple podcasts where I just am scrolling and then it just shows, it doesn't have
Like
any
a
explanation.
moment,
it's just
right?
them in combo.
It would be
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a quick exchange from the podcast or something that was fun.
Yeah, we're talking about a specific game, or if there's like a hot take or something like that, and you don't do any explanation of like, hey, I'm Johnny, here's my video. It's just boom right into it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
and you get that quick glimpse of like, oh, I would really like watching this show, and then you go follow them. You know, so it's TikTok, and the same with YouTube Shorts, by the way, too. YouTube Shorts is every YouTube short I posted, which I've only kind of done it experimentally. I posted like 5 or 6 just to see, because their setup for it is really weird. You got to put like hashtag shorts, like in the title and in the bio, and then it like kind of puts it in the shelf, but kind of doesn't. It's weird. Like one of mine was at like 2K views, and like 50% of the views were from suggested video, and I'm like, no, don't suggest that to be like that's supposed to be in shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But YouTube Shorts is the same way, man. They take off like almost immediately. If not, you'll see it in like a day or two.
So is it like? By the way, I'm seeing Food Talk Gaming in the chat all the time, and it's making me think about
man.
food.
Great.
Cheers. And also join our Discord if you want to talk about streaming and stuff like that. I love to check out new streams and give feedback and see what people are doing. But also, if you're a foodie, I'm also getting into food. And I don't know if you're talking about food in your stuff. Anyways, get in there. However, I wanted to ask you about shorts, right? So YouTube Shorts, is it basically TikTok?
It's YouTube's version of TikTok.
But here's the thing, right? If I've made something for TikTok, like we talked about, can I just repost in Shorts? Or is there something about the format where I need to cater to it and like change it somehow?
The only thing you would have to add, because like my YouTube Shorts were TikToks. I just downloaded them, uploaded them right back up, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing, and I haven't done this myself, but I've seen other people do it, and I'm like, shoot, maybe I should do this, is they make specific thumbnails for it, just in case people do see it on your channel scrolling through videos, or they find it on suggested videos.
Yeah.
But I didn't make thumbnails for them. I'm like, I'm just going to up, because it's supposed to go to the short shelf is what it's called, right? Which is the same thing. You just scroll and you get videos. And that's kind of in beta with YouTube right now. At least in the US, and I think in Europe too. It's in beta. But I didn't upload the thumbnail or anything, but that would be the only thing I'd say would be different. Is just uploading a thumbnail or not. But it's super easy to repost between the two.
So if someone, because for example, myself, I also work, so I don't have a ton of time outside of streaming to do all these different platforms, right? So I do a bit, but I don't do a ton. I guess like an easy way to get into this could be like try to create something fun in this sort of TikTok format and then repost. You could even repost in, Fleets, Insta.
Right, exactly.
Shorts. Yeah. And even if some people get annoyed by seeing them twice in like a couple places, overall it seems like nothing to lose, right? Like,
oh yeah. And the major thing too is with that, your point of like reposting them and maybe people getting annoyed, is I only did a couple Instagram ones. I'm not huge on Instagram.
Okay.
At least with their short, like with their TikTok formula.
Yeah.
But I reposted like on all three, like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And like the thing is, like on one platform that video might blow up and the other it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think it could, I'm sure it could be annoying to some people, but I always did it with no shame because it's like, one platform might stick, one might not.
Yeah.
The only thing I just remembered though that I will mention, I haven't tested out yet, and I don't really know if I want to test it out, but TikTok, you can use all these sounds, right? Like that's one of the main things is you go like to sounds that are trending, and it'll be like either lines from a movie people like lip sync with, or like music.
Oh, the app, you just add the sounds to your video?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's sounds everywhere. And if like say you're scrolling and like I have some song that you really like over my TikTok, you could click on the sound and click save, and then you could use that same sound.
Okay.
But the thing is with like movie lines and music and stuff, I don't know if YouTube will be cool with that.
I don't
know I don't know their formula for that. I know they have specific songs you can use, but like I've only reposted a couple of mine to YouTube for that very reason. I'm like, I'm not trying to get a copyright strike already, so
yeah,
I
that's
don't know how
interesting.
they're going to address that. I don't know.
I don't know because platforms like Instagram, Twitter, do they even control for that sort of stuff? If you post the stories,
Instagram, I've had no problem.
I think it's pretty
there and no
free
problem,
to post. Yeah, interesting.
It's And it sucks because a bunch of my good ones have like copyrighted music or like good movie lines that I'm like, man, this would get taken out in a heartbeat
Oh
though.
yeah, or like anime lines or like memes and
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anime talk's huge, man. There's anime fans
Actually,
everywhere on
dude, yeah,
TikTok.
now you saying this kind of opens it up a bit because what I do on Twitch and YouTube is also limited by that. Like, we can't. So I used to have
Right.
these scenes where, I'm playing a game and people can redeem a scene where it looks like the JoJo outro, for example. I don't know if you know
Oh, that's
that.
dope.
It's become
Yeah.
a meme. But I had to change the song in it because I was getting strikes.
Right.
So that kind of stuff, now it's not as cool, right? It doesn't hit
Right.
in the same way. So anyway, that's a cool thing that you can actually use those things to elevate some clips. I'm gonna, you know what, dude? You have me excited to try to get into that game a little bit.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
that
And like
sounds pretty cool.
that's what I love about it is just how random it is. Like I said, you could be on your like first upload or third upload and get over
Yeah.
100K views immediately.
And
So
I also kind of love the purity of it. You can have like the simplest idea where it's
Yeah.
literally just a meme, where like that thing that happened reminded you of a meme, and then you like post that meme on top or like a sound from it, and that's your TikTok, right? That's your 7-second
Right,
funny
exactly.
thing. Like it doesn't have to be a whole, because my whole mindset is longer form, right? So like
Right.
streams or longer videos where I'm fleshing out an idea or something like that.
Right,
But that
right.
idea of like something really pure and contained, where it's a moment, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing I was going to tell you too. Like, I like talking about how you don't have a lot of time with working and stuff. And that's the same thing with me. Like, it's hard to pick what you want to work with
Yes.
that night. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
only have limited time. But with TikToks, what I like about it too is like you can make like 3 in like 5 minutes if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
And the coolest thing, they have this feature that it helps you make content quick too, is you can actually reply to a comment with a video. So say like some guy leaves like a halftime, I do it to nasty comments to just put people on the spot. So say some guy like called me out or something, you can hit reply with a video, and you'll make a video with that comment like pinned above your head, and like it'll still show up on people's For You pages and stuff like that. So it's like if you're funny about that kind of stuff, people, you know what I mean? It's just repurposed content for like
Yes.
a 2-second reply to a video. So I love TikTok. It's just a confusing thing, it's just like every other platform, just trying to master the madness of its algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun. I have a ton of fun making them.
Awesome. We did have a question from Jonathan that I missed earlier. Do you guys have any rituals before going live on stream? What about you?
Rituals? I don't really think so, man. Usually I take my dogs out so they don't drive me crazy during it.
But that's more on the
pretty much my
practical
ritual.
side, right? You don't have anything like you gotta do before, like put on your favorite socks or something.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't have anything like that. My biggest thing is just like trying to go into a stream like in a good mindset. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whether if you've had a terrible day or not. Because if you've had a terrible day and you hop on and you're like, man, you're not going to be entertaining. You know what I mean? You don't want to be able to talk to people, and you got to go in with a good mindset. That would be my ritual, I guess.
That's a big thing. How do you do it? Because sometimes you have had a bad day and you want to stream, or you had like a scheduled stream. Do you, if it's bad enough, you just reschedule it or do it some other day. But do you have something that helps you break that mind space into something a bit better? Like,
my biggest thing would be give yourself time to set up. Because I've had streams where like I've had a terrible day, right? And then like I'm kind of procrastinating because I had a terrible day. I'm like, oh, I'll set up the stream in a minute. I'll set up the stream in a minute. And then you have to rush and you're kind of late and you're kind of scrambling.
All that much worse.
If you take time to like, especially because like I kind of have my own room here to do it. So if I kind of like shut out the outside world when I'm in this room, give myself time to like get everything set up, the lights on, and then sit down for a minute and just kind of breathe. Almost meditate. I mean, not really meditation, but almost. You know what I mean? Like just give yourself some like Zen time. Like let's just breathe, relax, everything's on.
Yeah, get into the space of, okay, we're gonna do this, right? You start to kind of shift into
exactly. Yeah, you kind of just have to separate yourself from your day in that aspect.
Yeah. There's one thing that I do. I've never told this, and hopefully I've never been caught on camera doing this. But if I was kind of in a nasty mind space, one of the things I do is I do things with my body physically that I would do when I'm happy or when I'm hyped. So I would be like, like
moving around,
like fuck yeah, or like just force myself to smile, or like fist pumps, or maybe just doing some lifts or pull-ups, something to like get the energy flowing a bit more, that kind of stuff. There's some science behind it. I'm not smart enough to know all of it, but there's something about if you act out how you want to feel, that kind of helps you put yourself in that mind space.
And that would make sense. That would definitely make sense.
So acting like you're excited and it's sort of high energy kind of helps you a little bit. It's not a miracle, but it does help me sometimes.
Right.
But
yeah, it's almost like going along the lines of like what I always thought of too is when you had a really bad day and you didn't have time to kind of decompress, is like fake it till you make it. Like just pretend you're happy.
Someone said exactly that in chat. That's kind of it. Yeah, there's some merit to that. Exactly.
You kind of just gotta act, it's like eventually if you act like it, you'll feel like it.
It's what we were saying earlier as well with the consistency, like having that credibility with yourself. And initially you don't have it, right? So you have to create it over time, but eventually you will believe it. You will, you will make it, let's say in that example of fake it till you make it. But we had a question here from Corrido. What's the true story behind your username? Why TheElusiveSquirrel? So, and we need the real story. Don't give me, some...
Oh, I'll give you the real story. It's kind of a cool backstory too. It's really random, but it's cool. So, like I said, I started back in 2016 or 17 over on YouTube, and I was the Elusive Squirrel then too. I kept the name. And I remember just thinking, like, trying to think of something. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I always thought of like something gaming, and I'm like, pretty much everybody has that username, like brand and then gaming.
Right.
I was like, no, I got to come up with something unique. And then me and my friends always used to go to these bonfires, and there was always kids from different schools at these bonfires. We were like seniors in high school, and we'd always go to these little parties that are at bonfires, right? And one of my friends once was like, we always get like mixed up with each other, and we had this walkie-talkie app on our phones, by the way. It was hilarious. It was like a walkie-talkie but with your smartphone. And we came up with code names. And my one friend was like, he's my moderator now. He's like, we got to have like some kind of code name, man. So he's like, I'll be the squatting camel. And my one friend was like the flying gecko. Oh. And then they're like, Ryan, you'll be the elusive squirrel. So then that was my code name, was the elusive squirrel. And then growing up, my sister and her friend, it's kind of like a two-part thing. My sister and her friend always called me Squirrel Boy because they said I look like a squirrel for some reason. So I kind of just mixed those two together, and I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with the elusive squirrel for YouTube too. So yeah, it was code names. We were telling people our code names over the
squatting camel is a bit of an unfortunate one. I mean, there's...
I was the flying gecko, the squatting camel, and the elusive squirrel, man. We were the gang.
Yeah, damn. Wait, are you guys still friends?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
One of them's my moderator, and one of them's one of my good buddies still, for sure.
Talk to me about mods and how you view that. I guess, like, how many mods do you have now in your channel?
I have 2 right now.
Okay.
I have 2. One has like mod privileges, but he's on like a no social media kick, so he hasn't really been there. So pretty much two mods that active? Are always consistently there. Yep, active.
And how does that feel for you for like the scale of your channel now? Is that like a good number, do you feel?
For my size, I would say that's perfect. Since I'm still pretty small over on Twitch, if at least one of them are there, they can manage that just fine. And typically I don't really have a problem. Usually, like, people really need them, and I haven't stumbled into that. I haven't really found trolls on Twitch yet, or sometimes you get like those bots. You know what I mean? They'll come in like follow exactly. Or whatever. But
I think as guys, we have to deal with a lot less shit overall.
Yeah,
probably.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I don't know how it is, but I imagine that if you're a cute girl on Twitch, there's always in the back of your mind like, is that person there because I'm a cute girl?
Right.
So
people just say vile stuff too.
They say vile stuff, or even
awful,
they also sometimes say nice stuff, but with ulterior motive, right? Because they want to like become best friends with you in a creepy way. I don't know. Yeah. Luckily, for us, we don't have to deal with that. I'm not. We have other stuff we have to deal with, but I would say overall we have it pretty.
Right.
Pretty.
Yeah, I was gonna say
easy.
I've never really had a problem. It's
I will say you do have to develop a bit of thick skin, don't you? Because like you said initially, people, especially like YouTube comments, like you mentioned, they go for the jugular, right? They really try to find your chink in the armor, like I said. I imagine TikTok might be the same, but like, you know, for me, because like I shave my head, so, you know, people will think, oh, he's insecure about that. Let's, you know, let's like put baldy comments in there. And then they see I don't give a fuck and they kind of stop. But if it is something that really hits us like a sore spot with you, I could really see some people, you know, spending like a week like in their mind with that. Oh man, dude,
I've been there.
Yeah. So have you? Do you think like you've gotten over that sort of stuff? You're a bit immune to it now.
Honestly, like the biggest thing, the only place I've really had a big kickback was TikTok, because I've had a couple go over 100K there, and yeah, dude, it was crazy. So like the first one that went over 100K views for me, I was making fun of like console wars, right? Like I was picking up a bunch of different things console war people were saying, and I'd like read it in a mocking voice, kind of. That's all I was doing, pretty much, just regurgitating some console war stuff and making fun of them. And it was both sides too. That's what's hilarious. And man, those fanboys went for my jugular, dude. And I was like, dude, I even like replied.
You're playing with fire, man. You're playing with the most like reactive people.
Yeah, I'm like, I have both consoles, dude. This is a joke. Like, I'm just playing around, and they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Look at your hairline. Look at this. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what's happening to me? And I was telling my girlfriend for like 3 days, man. I just scroll through those comments, and I was like,
damn.
Oh my God, dude. I was like, these people are terrible.
Bile and poison. Fuck.
But then after that, man, yeah, I just, like I was saying with my hairline, man, I just make it a joke now. Like I just run with it, and it's made me super thick-skinned to internet comments. Like,
I mean, that's kind of how I went about it too. Like I used to be very insecure about my hair. Not only did I shave the damn thing off, like just own it, right? But also like, you know, I joke about it, and the moment you kind of wield it like a shield, to quote Tyrion from Game of Thrones, is the moment it stops becoming a weapon for other people too, right? Because the more you try to hide it or, you know, pretend it's not a thing, that people pick up on that. They're like dogs with, you know, smelling your weakness, smelling the blood.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Oh, dude, I forgot to say this too. One of the craziest things that I definitely had that insecurity as well. It was like, we did a charity stream last summer, like last June, and we hit $600 donated. So it was a huge thing, man. I was really proud of that. But I think it was like $200. I was like, if we hit $200 it was a 24-hour stream, by the way. I was like, if we hit $200 during this 24-hour stream, I'll shave my head. And we hit $200 in the first 2 hours.
Oh, fuck.
So on stream, I shaved my head. I like got Jenna.
No shit.
Yeah, she actually have
on
the clip.
stream.
I'll send it to you. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh my God.
She got her little razors out, and on stream she just shaved my head. And like it wasn't. I actually liked being bald, and like my girlfriend's like, "You should stay bald." Like I like that, and I was like, you know, that's pretty sweet. But then you know what was terrible was it growing back with my awful hairline, and I didn't have like the long hair to hide it. And I was like, dude, I'm truly embracing this right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. Man, dude, that takes some balls, dude, to do it like live on stream.
Oh, it was awesome.
Goddamn.
It was an incredible time. That was fun because we had all kinds of incentives. Like, they got to like throw cakes at my face and shaving my head. It was a fun stream, man. I love doing stuff like that.
So you did a 24-hour for that?
Yeah, I've done 2 of those now. And then back in 2016 and 17, I did one on YouTube as well. So I've got 3 24-hour ones.
Bro, how do you do that? Because
it's terrible.
It must be horrible.
Oh, it is, man. It's a ton of fun.
Like, because your energy levels must be like dog shit after 12 hours or after even 6 hours.
The last one I did was, I think, August of last summer. And I fell asleep for like 30 seconds. Like the last 2 hours, I was in physical pain, dude. I was like, this is terrible. And I was playing Spider-Man. And one of my friends has a clip. I was playing Spider-Man. And I like leaned back in my chair. And for a minute, like Spider-Man just stops swinging and falls. I'm just like,
yeah, just zoned out.
And then 20 seconds later, I kind of like snapped back to it. But like, my thing was just having water and caffeine. Like the first half of the stream, I just drink nothing but water. So
and like nice snacks and or something? Like dried fruits? What kind of stuff did you? Yeah.
I would always just have like pretzels. And then actually my girlfriend brought me some takeout at dinner time.
That's the hack. Nice. The girlfriend.
Yeah.
right? Because as a bachelor, I'm
100%.
fucked. Who's bringing me the snacks, right?
And then even if you get delivery, you gotta go like to the door and
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
It's like,
exactly. No, that's
but
pretty
yeah,
cool,
it was
man.
fun, man. It was great. It was great. But
Was
like the
your
last half hour is awful.
oh I mean the last hours must be because it's
Terrible.
dude, yeah. I mean for a one-time thing, that's really cool because it's a special event. It's for charity.
Right.
I totally get it, but for me, there's a kind of a hard limit in terms of hours where my energy starts to plummet, and
Oh
my
yeah.
my commentary, my energy is just like down the drain. And if someone comes in for the first time on stream at that point, it'll be like a
Yeah.
really subpar. They're gonna be like, "Fuck that sucks," right? I'm moving
Yeah.
on. So that's why I try to keep mine sort of shorter. But
And that's the thing. Typically, I 100% agree with you. Like normally, my streams are about 2 or 3 hours. I don't go like overboard with it. And when I met when I met my I met those Australian friends that I love those guys. They actually came into my stream and it was at like 9 a.m. and I was finishing at 11. Right, so I'd been up for like 22 hours at this point. And I was dead. Like I was not like super happy going. I was just kind of like quiet doing my thing.
yes,
And then when I would talk, I'd try to be a little bit funnier or whatever. And they loved it, man. They're like, come on, keep going. And they brought their friends and everything because they knew, because you had to have like a clock or something. So people know, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy isn't just like boring and dead. He's just like tired. So
yeah.
people
Like
actually did
this
like
is what's happening.
yeah.
You're coming
Yeah.
in at the 20th hour, and it's
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what it was crazy because I saw my most growth in terms of like follows on Twitch and stuff like that during those last like 2 or 3 hours of like I'm dying inside. But for some reason, everybody just finds it entertaining trying to get to the finish line. So
Yeah. Bella, Jacob, welcome in. How you doing, guys? So I wanted to ask you, man, do you have any specific goals for your stream that you think
goals in
about?
terms of stream, I would say be more consistent. I've been on kind of a
I love that
hiatus
goal.
this last like week. Yeah, but I've
Because
been on like a hiatus this past week, so it's
you know why? Because most times when I ask that question, people will tell me I want to hit, X followers or something like that. But you've just given me a goal that's all up to you, right? Whether you,
yep.
do you know what I mean? That you own
yeah,
that shit, right?
100%.
It's like
100%.
whether you're consistent or not is something you can control. So that's a good goal, I would say.
Yeah. And the thing is with number goals too is you'll never usually be satisfied. So like say if you're like, oh, I want to
Yes.
average 10 viewers, you'll hit 10 and then you'll want 15.
It's good to have some targets, right? You may want to say, well, by the end of the year, I'm aiming for whatever. But yeah, it's those like what is your actual plan, right? Your system to get there. That's the important part.
Yeah. I always like went for numbers at first, and like especially with people just starting, I always say this is it's a good way to get people to quit, honestly. Is if they don't hit that number, then they're like, "Oh, I'm never going to do it." And then they dip. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's
if you make that the measure of your success, right? Yeah, I see a lot of people setting themselves up for failure with unrealistic
oh yeah, that's huge.
numbers that they want to meet,
yeah.
and then they don't meet it, and then they're a failure to them. Like,
yep. That's the thing with TikTok. You see all these young people that are like, "Oh, I want to hit partner," and it's like, man, I love you, but you're nowhere near partner. You got to set something else first. You know what I mean? Like, because you're just gonna burn out and be mad at yourself or discouraged or whatever it be.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. So, for you, do you think about streaming full time, or is it just like a fun side gig, hobby?
For me, I see streaming. It could go either way. I think I enjoy it more when it's more of a hobby kind of a thing. I would say what I would really like to do full time one day. It's not like a goal, but it'd be sweet. Would be YouTube videos because I've really had a lot of fun making those. And then like pairing that with streaming though, you know what I mean? Like I would love to make YouTube videos and then stream like 2 or 3 days a week as well, or 2 days a week on top of that, and kind of make it a hybrid thing. But overall, yeah, it'd be sweet. It's not like a realistic goal at this moment, but in the long run, that would be an incredible goal. So
yeah, I think it's a great side gig. I don't think it's a good full-time job.
Right.
Because the problem is it's more than full-time. Most people who are full-time, they're doing 11 hours, a lot of people doing 6-hour streams, and then they're doing 2-3 hours of producing other content for other platforms and networking, thinking about it's endless, man. It's very difficult to put a boundary on it too, because you're working from home, right? So as you know as well, if you're working from home, it's harder to put a strict boundary on it.
Yeah.
But it's even harder if what you're doing is this sort of stuff that's like social, parasocial. It's barring what you would be doing on your free time anyways. So it invades your free time a lot.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I think it's very difficult as a full time. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Social media is pretty scary full time because it's like a lot of you look at these studies of how social media affects people too, and it can affect people in various ways. You know what I mean? Like they can really get people who've never had depression issues or any mental health issues can really start developing them. You know, because they lack self-worth because their numbers didn't hit this week, or you said, it's hard to differentiate when you'd be working to like when your average life is. You know. And especially with gaming, I don't want to ruin gaming for myself. You know, if it's like I'm only gaming just to make content, then it wouldn't be super duper fun anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like to game first and then make the content, especially in YouTube. I like to game first and then kind of make the content after that. You know what I mean? Not necessarily a review, but I want to make sure I'm still enjoying, my hobby at the end of the day. So working full time would be a little bit of dangerous waters there, I guess I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you ever struggle with like anxiety?
Oh yeah,
the pressure, like mental stuff at all?
The first time I streamed, actually, like one of the major things I don't know how to word it. One of the major things people kind of related to is we talked about mental health issues all the time. I'm a very anxiety-wise, I'm a very anxious person.
Right.
Super anxious, man. And
like
that's actually why I've been
nervousness about stuff, or what kind of?
Yeah, general anxiety. Ever since I was a young kid too. Like my parents always said, ever since I was like 4 or 5, they knew I was going to be an anxious fella. And podcasts, man, they've been my like kind of grounding thing. It's cool because that's like how I found ACG. Is I had these long drives to work, so I just quit this other job I was at, but it was like a 45-minute commute, and for some reason I have super bad anxiety about driving. Like I always am like, oh, I'm gonna get in a wreck, or oh, this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So listening to podcasts instead of music kind of helps ground me, because it's like it feels like you're in a car full of people. You know what I mean? Like you're having a conversation with people. Yeah. So like I remember when I found ACG, I can't remember if it was my girlfriend or my friends, like, you should try podcasts, so like, for your car rides. And I just looked up gaming podcast. I found that one first and just clicked it, and I was like, this is my grounding thing. And that's how like I said, I binged Gamer Life too, because it's like on those car rides, I was just like, all right, I need something to distract me from this anxiety. You know what I mean? So
that's very cool to think about, man.
It is, yeah. And like as a content creator, it's always in the back of my mind too, is like, how can you make something that kind of would be relatable in the sense of like it can help people kind of calm down. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Intrusive thoughts, says Suvi. That's a very common one. And do you have these times where your head is kind of replaying these thoughts over and over? Like maybe you had an argument or something, or you're overthinking. Is that the sort of stuff you come across?
Overthinking big time.
Yeah.
I would say overthinking big time, and I'm definitely one of those people where it's like you have a conversation with somebody, right, and it's completely normal, there's no like big event to it, and then after you're talking, you're like, man, did I piss that person off? You know what I mean? Like, or like, did I make them mad or something like that? And it's just it's all mental games in my head. It's like half the time I can talk myself out of my anxiety by realizing like how wild it is,
Yes. But do you do any meditation on the side to help with that?
That's what I'm trying to get into it, because it's funny you mentioned that, because I like always try to do it, and I was one of those people that would do it once and be like, it didn't help, and then never do it again. And
that's the biggest problem that I see with people who try it.
Yeah,
is that they think they tried it, and what they did was one meditation. But the fact is, it takes you several sessions to even realize how lost in thought you are all the time. You know what I mean? When
100%.
when the guy tells you, focus on your breath for 10 seconds, and you think that's easy. It's 10 seconds. It actually, you're so lost in thought that you think you're paying attention to the breath, but no, you're actually thinking about
Right.
stuff, and only like after several tries do you realize, oh, this is all the time.
This is it.
It's
Yeah.
this ongoing, right, machine. And so it takes some time. Listen, man, I'm gonna send you a link to the app that I use, which is called Waking Up. Have you tried that?
I have not. Nope.
So
I pretty much only used videos, not like I haven't used like an app specifically yet for it.
no pressure. I'll just send it to you if it helps.
Okay.
Great, right? That's what I use. And it has like an introductory course that's very good that explains this, what I just tried to explain, the fact that it takes several sessions and why, like there's good info there, and it's also a really good like way to start. So I'll send you a link to like a free month of that just in case it's helpful. But
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
I'm down, man. And that's like the thing is like the first session, I had to realize this myself, is it's like you're not even relaxed enough to even like
yes.
get into it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like you didn't even really experience a meditation.
Yeah, and it's like
learning about
the
it.
more you need it, the harder it is to make the time for it and to get in this space. So I get what you're saying, man.
I'm a super fast-paced person too, so it's hard for it. It's harder to like just take a breath and relax. So I think I would definitely benefit.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good because Jacob in chat was saying, he thinks streaming is not for him because he gets extremely anxious and insecure about not doing everything to a high standard and to perfection. I think you kind of need that though, Jacob. That's the thing. Like people who are good at things in general, but streaming, they want their shit to be perfect or as good as it can be.
Obsess over it.
Obsess over it. I obsess over. I want the camera to look a particular way, right? I want a drop shadow. These little things. If people didn't give a fuck about those details, their shit wouldn't be as good. So I think you need that, but you also need to take steps to circumvent the side effects of having that kind of, obsessive mentality about things. Which, meditation is one thing, exercise, there's a bunch of things, right, people can do, but it's, I do think it is a good thing, or you can like channel it in a good way, I would say. My dude, I've taken up a lot of your time here. But this has been a really good convo. I've gotten a lot out of it. I'm now excited to try out some TikToks. And to get some dudes talking about my hairstyle, and it'll be great. It'll be fun.
I'm hyped to see it, dude. I'm hyped to see it.
Yeah, okay. Listen, thanks for the convo, dude. Anything you want to pimp out in your channel that you're planning on doing in the near future?
I would just say go follow The Elusive Squirrel or subscribe to The Elusive Squirrel on YouTube. That's primarily where I'm at for the moment, but I'll be popping in randomly over on Twitch too, so...
Hell yeah.
It's always a good time. Always some chill vibes.
Yeah, and you're in our Discord, so people can slide into your DMs.
Oh, yeah. Always open. Always open.
Awesome. All right. Listen, dude, thanks for doing this.
And thanks for having me, man. It was a blast.
My pleasure. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
Yep. Take it easy, dude.
Bye-bye.